Good morning. Hello, Music Industry Hackers University. We're going to get into the basis of credit. We're going to dive right into it. I am Miss Wham with Wham Financial Solutions. I do credit repair, funding, and things of that nature. My name is Becky Martin. I also go by Miss Wham. A favorite quote of mine is, if your dreams don't wake you up at night, they're not big enough, right? So I don't know about y'all, but my dreams wake me up at night. They do not allow me to sleep. But that's a good problem. So about me, or about us, a few years ago, my husband and I, we was lost and confused about credit. We decided to take action. We signed up for a credit class and got a mentor in the credit industry. And then we started working on our credit profiles first. And then it just grew from there. And we turned it into a business. You don't know what you don't know, right? So let's get into it. Who am I? Becky Martin, right there on the left. You guys know Bernard Martin. He's a manager of mine. He helps me out with some things. And then Isaac Smith, he is one of my many mentors. If you don't have a mentor, get a mentor. You can, take many shortcuts having a mentor. You don't have to go through a lot of the trial and error that others went through to get where they're at. Okay. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can raise your hand or just drop them in the chat. I'll try to pay attention. If not, we'll have questions and answers at the end, a little bit of Q&A. We'll get into it. So what is our vision is to maintain the highest level of quality services so that we can provide the best financial service in the country. The mission is to exceed expectations of the clients and to provide them with the best credit repair service and the most reliable support system, right? So you don't know what you don't know, and you need somebody you can trust, right? So boom, here we are. So let's just jump right into it. We're going to talk about what is credit. Because I don't know about y'all, but we wasn't taught this stuff in school. I had to learn on my own. And I think they taught us how to fill out a check when we was in school, and little basic math here and there, but as far as what is credit, they did not disclose that in school, right? So when a lender extends you a line of credit for an item, product, or service, right? So, that's a line of credit. I'm sure you guys have seen wheels like this a lot floating around the internet. You may have ran into it before. This may be your first time seeing it. So we're going to talk about it. So what makes up your credit score? As you can see, the biggest percent on that wheel is payment history. So late payments lower your score. So so make sure that you're paying your bills on time and never skip a payment. So payment history is the biggest makeup of your credit score, right? It can impact it the most. Types of credit. So it's not just about that score, guys. It's not just about, oh, I got a 670 or I got a 500 or I got a 710 or, an 800. It's when somebody is lending you money, they're looking at the makeup of your credit, like the variety of credit types, like mortgages and student loans and credit cards. Things like that could boost your score. So you have to have a good mix of credit on your profile. Just because you don't have anything on your profile and you don't have any negative items, that doesn't necessarily mean that your credit is good, because you really don't have any accounts. Okay. So the length of the history is 10% as well. A short history isn't a bad thing if you show responsible credit management, but the longer you have an account on your profile, the better it is for your length of history. So the sooner you start, the better. And the sooner that you get yourself into position, you can help others in your family, nieces, nephews, children, aunts, uncles, what have you. You can actually help them with their credit score if that's something that you're in need of. And then 15% is new accounts. Too many new accounts, inquiries can lower your score. Multiple inquiries for an auto or home loan will not. But having multiple inquiries on your credit report when you're trying to get approved for other things can hinder you. They may look at you like, oh, they're just applying for a bunch of stuff, so we're not going to take that seriously, and they may deny you because of you having too many inquiries. But that's okay. We're going to learn how to remove inquiries in one of our classes. Okay, it's going to be something that I'm going to teach you guys. And then you'll hear people say DTI, debt to income. That's your amount owed. So based upon the overall debt that you have, you might have a car, a house, and a credit card, but what is the total amounts on all of that? And you should shoot to have that under 30%, so that it doesn't hurt your score. But obviously, if you just bought a home, you're not going to be under 30%, right? So they're gonna keep that in mind. But when it comes to credit cards, you can control that, right? You have control of whether you swipe that card or not, and whether you pay that balance in full or not when the amount is owed. So if you have a credit card, it's best to pay them amounts in full at the end of each month, so that way you avoid interest, and that way you can help your credit score stay where you want it to stay, right? High, of course, because that's what looks best, right? So that is what credit is. Does anybody have any questions about what credit is? All right. So how to stay in the now. A few websites that I read from regularly to stay up to date. I'm just going to go to some of these websites for you and show you what I'm talking about. I have them up here. So Doctor of Credit has a lot of good information on here. I'm just trying to hide some of these ads so that way you can see the full picture. They got credit card information, best rewards cards and stuff, just helpful resources, what's going on with credit cards underneath this tab. And then there's bank account bonuses, like it's going to tell you the best bank accounts that have bonuses, things like that. So if I'm interested in looking at something, I use some of these as reference, right? These are like where I just go read. Credit boards is another one. This is actual people loading posts and stuff on here of information, dealing with different credit topics, loans, things of that nature. Okay. And then the points guy. The points guy is one of my favorites. He teaches the points, basically how to utilize points on credit cards to basically travel for free and hotels for free and things like that.